is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And guys, sometimes we start the show with headphones on, and sometimes we do these fake out live stream premieres when I'm unable to go live with the Mafia. I don't want to do a pre-record. I want to do a premiere so you guys can hang out in chat, and maybe I can stop by and say what's up in chat as well. But guys, obviously I was unable to go live tonight. However, I am never going to leave the Mafia out there, with no candle lit, with no idea where price is going to go. I had to throw out that premiere to let you guys know what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Are we looking for more upside? Are we looking for more downside? And bear with me, guys, as I fix my chair here. This thing just keeps coming down on me. But thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out here, even on the fake out live streams, guys. But we have some important stuff to look at here on the charts tonight, guys. I want to take a look at Bitcoin. Are we going to get another move to the upside, or are we going to start to teeter out here and get a little bit of a correction to the downside? What can we expect over the weekend? So I want to talk a little bit about Bitcoin, guys. And more importantly, I want to talk a little bit about the altcoins, guys. I want to talk about, can Solana hit $75 to $80 in the near future? And not only that, but can XRP get a pump as well? So those are going to be the two main altcoins we're going to focus on tonight. And then obviously we are going to do the BTCTA. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes you guys get, or we get, you guys get a spin on the wheel of pain and pleasure. The more spins, the more wins. The more wins, the more free crypto, the more free hats, the more free monthly memberships to the premium Discord. You guys will have a chance to win. So smash out that like button. And if we get 550 likes on tonight's fake out live stream, I will go ahead and spin the wheel 10 times on Monday's live stream, where we will actually be live. But guys, we are obviously going to move the giveaways to next Friday. Maybe we could do them next Monday if you guys are really dying to get that free crypto. We could do them on Monday, but we're going to push them to next week. But don't worry, we're gonna roll over all those giveaways from this past week to next week as well. So you're not missing out on any free stuff. We're just going to call the winners a little bit later. But with all that being said, guys, shout out to Dave Digital. I see you up in here, bro. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Crypto Billy, Tyler Durden. You guys know the mods. Show them some love in the chat. I almost said the chat down below, but show them some love in the chat. And guys, shout out to Golden. I assume he probably gifted some memberships. So shout out to Golden. Thank you for gifting those memberships, bro. You're an absolute legend. And hopefully he gifted. He probably did. There's like a 99.99% chance he gifted those memberships. So shout out to everybody in chat. I know you guys are here, even though I can't actually see you guys. I'm all alone right now. But guys, wow, this chair is really bothering me today. But without further ado, guys, we got a lot of stuff to look at Bitcoin. And again, we're going to check out if Solana can head to $75. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and try to figure out what the heck this thing Bitcoin is going to do next. Now, obviously, guys, I want to zoom out a little bit. I want to do a little bit of the macro analysis. And obviously, I'm going to spend very little time here on the higher time frames because I think we all know my general bias is bullish, right? As of right now, like all these fresh money flow crossovers, not only on the 3-day, but you can see our 2-day has crossed over into the green with that 2-day VWAP rolling back to the upside. This could be an indication that we are going to get a little bit more of a pump coming in here. Again, 3-day money flow also just crossed over into the green with that VWAP coming up as well. Not the worst sign in the world. But again, obviously we've been talking about this for the past week. We are seeing those higher daily time frames, such as the 4-day, the 5-day, the 6-day, and even the weekly, starting to get those VWAPs rolling back to the downside. So I want to be clear here, guys. We always talk about this. The money flow indicates the longer-term trend, which would make us believe that this trend is likely to continue to the upside at some point in the near future. But with these VWAPs rolling down on the higher daily time frames, we could anticipate a small pullback. But remember, because the VWAP only indicates the noise in the market and those ebbs and flows in the market and not the overall trend, that's the money flow. But if these VWAPs wind up crossing over and giving us red dots on the higher time frames, that is likely where we will get that little pullback or that little cool off to maybe come down in a lackluster dump to put in a higher low before continuing back to the upside. And we'll talk about some key levels in just a second. But the general analysis here, or the general sentiment, guys, is overall bullish in the long term. But I do think at some point soon here, we are going to roll over over, and what I am looking at for that to start to get that kind of significant cool off to the downside is going to be some of these higher daily red dots, such as the 4-day. 3 days already confirmed, but once that 4-day starts printing, that 5-day starts printing, that might be where we're able to get a little bit more of a pullback. And if you guys remember, the past couple of days, we've been looking at something very specific here on the daily, and that is a bearish divergence potentially forming here. Now, I talked about this yesterday, and I want to talk about it again. I want to be very, very, very clear here. We are not just blindly shorting random bearish divergences. We are not in a bear market, at least as of right now. We are obviously in a strong uptrend, and you do not want to just willy-nilly short these bearish divergences. In a bearish market, right, or when we know we're in a long-term downtrend, we just started coming out of a pretty brutal bear market. In those bear markets, guys, you have a much higher probability to get into savage short positions on these daily bear divs. However, the macro trend has shifted. We are now in a macro uptrend, which means that you want to be a little bit more greedy with the longs now and a little bit more conservative with the shorts. And it's the same thing or the opposite in a bear market where you want to be more greedy with the shorts and more conservative with the long positions. And simply put, guys, I don't feel like I probably don't have to cover this very much because I'm sure a lot of you guys understand this, but I do just want to point out, right, when you're in this macro downtrend, which is the bear market, right, this is why you're being more greedy with the shorts, right? Because almost any little pump you get, if you fade those pumps, you're going to get a bigger move down, right? You're looking at this, looking to fade the highs, big move to the downside. Look to fade the highs, big move down, big move down, big move down, right? But we're not in that scenario anymore, right? We have flipped bullish. We are in a pretty big bullish trend on the higher time frames. And in this case, you want to be a little bit more greedy with the longs, right? Because if you start, in this case, you want to be longing the higher lows, right? Not shorting every single bear div. Now, that's not to say that you can't catch some nice scalp shorts on like little corrections to the downside. But look, at this point, guys, the big moves are explosive to the upside, right? Big move up. Big bearish divergence, actually coincidentally here on the daily, and you did get a little scalp to the downside, but only to continue the move, the bigger move to the upside to make higher highs and continue that uptrend in the macro. So you want to be, again, more greedy with the longs at this point and more conservative with the shorts. Almost every short that I'm getting into, I am treating as a short-term scalp trade, right? I am not looking to hold these down to zero or anything like that. I am more likely using these bearish divergences to just signal these small pullbacks that we're likely to see before continuing the trend to the upside. So I just want to be very clear about that, but something we've been looking at here on the live stream recently is that daily bearish divergence, and we've been looking for this for quite some time. Now, not only were we looking for this little surprise pump to the upside on the live stream the other day based off this daily green dot, and you can see we obviously got that to play out beautifully, but if we pull up our next targets that we're looking at, you guys can see we do have this, let me actually go ahead and hide some of these local levels really quickly. We'll get to those in a minute. But you know, we came up to these key levels. We have that naked point of control at about $37,000. And then we have this purple box, which basically is a golden pocket, a previous value area low, a previous POC from back here. You can see that value area low, that POC. We also have a macro golden pocket in this area. And at the top here, this point of control from this local area of consolidation from about March of 2022. You guys can see here, this point of control is also that monthly naked point of control. And that is coming in at about $39K. So that is another naked point of control we want to keep an eye on. And then about $40,000 even is going to be another psychological level to watch. Now there are some other, there are some other things in here that could make it likely to potentially fill this whole purple box up to that naked monthly point of control. So I want to be clear here. I am still being very cautious with the shorts. However, if something we can keep our eye on, guys, is this daily bearish divergence, because whether this daily bear div is going to give us a big move down or even potentially just a little bit of a pullback, there is a chance, right? If we get this daily bear div, there's a better chance than not that it's going to give us some kind of a pullback, even if it's just like one little measly red candle, like a little dip like this or a little dip like this. It is likely to give you something, right? And this is what we're looking for. And I want to be clear. We had this level on the chart for quite some time, and we simply sat on our hands and waited for price to come up to these levels, and we are now approaching these key levels. So now we're looking for those confirmations to potentially enter a short trade. And although this daily bearish divergence is not the signal that I would enter the trade on, we give those confirmations more in the premium Discord, but this is going to be a significant signal that if you get that bearish divergence with your higher highs on your price action and your lower highs on your momentum waves into your key level of resistance, you could potentially, once you print this red dot on your momentum wave, that could be where you start to see your cool off come in, right? So going to be watching this very, very closely over the weekend to see if we can get that daily bear div. And if we do wind up not putting it in at the bottom of this purple box and we push up, I do think that there is a possibility if we do continue to the upside here, guys, we could push through this purple box pretty quickly. And then that naked monthly point of control is likely to give you some strong resistance. But I do want to be clear here, guys. Even if I went for a short here at this purple box, I am almost expecting to get stopped out, right? We are trading against the trend. And again, it doesn't mean that you can't get the scalp short, but you have to understand the context of the market so you can manage that trade properly. You're gonna, if you get into these scalp shorts, you're gonna want to manage the risk very tightly, and you're gonna want to, like, my short from down here, I was short from right here. I got stopped out for $100, right? So I lost $100, but my swing and scalp longs are up multiple thousands, right? I'm up like almost 4,000 on my swing long, and then I'm up like almost over $1,000 on my little scalp long, right? So I lost 100, but as we pumped, I just made more money on those longs that covered my loss on that short plus profit, right? So you need to understand the context of the market. So I'm almost treating every single short I get into right now very, very as a short-term scalp trade, right? So as soon as I'm in profit, enough profit to take some and move my stop loss to my entry, I'm locking these trades in, making them guaranteed winners sooner than I typically do, right? Because we're trading against the trend here. But you can make some, you catch one of these cool-offs, it might be that big cool-off that we're looking for. So you want to have your skin in the game, but you want to manage that risk very tightly. So that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin, guys. But overall, I have to say, guys, with the fresh money flow crossovers, regardless of the cool-off that we get, whether we wind up getting a pullback to the POC, which is a key level of support that you want to look at if we do get a big correction in here. Let's say we get a surprise dump over the weekend. You may want to be coming down here to the point of control at $34,404. That is going to be a very, very, very big level to watch, because you know if you wind up losing that point of control, you may be able to get stuck underneath it and potentially go for this blue box, which is kind of the most important level, because if we lose this blue box between 30,113 and 28,641, there is a probably going to be a good chance once you lose this value area low 786 and you get stuck underneath that level, there is going to be a very, very, very good chance that you are going to come down to some lower prices, getting closer to 25K. But we don't have to worry about that until we start playing around with this blue box. There is a pretty good chance that even if whether we get the shot to the upside over the weekend into these higher levels, potentially getting up to 40K before the big correction, that POC, in my opinion, in a strong uptrend like this, may be a better place to look for that higher low to come in. And then we also have some lower levels down here, which we're kind of far away from, so I'm not going to bring them up, but we have talked about them in the past. We have some other levels down here that we're watching locally. So really just sitting on my hands, guys. We had a really, really good week of trading in the premium Discord. These longs are absolutely paying us out. And again, I got stopped out of that short, but we made more money on the longs than we lost on the short, so it's all good. So I am going to probably take a little step back this weekend, kind of let price, figure out what it wants to do. If I see that short entry at one of these higher levels, I get all my confirmations. I will be entering that with our Discord. But other than that, I am basically just going to be letting Bitcoin kind of figure itself out and find its ranges and just let the dust settle so I can get a clear signal to look for a position. But that's really the big thing, is that daily bearish divergence, guys. And then coming on down to our 4-hour, you can see that it wouldn't really be impossible to come down from here, guys, because you can see, like, if we wind up, like, we are hitting our heads on this level, and yesterday we were actually looking at some local positions or local levels of resistance. I'm going to hide those higher targets, and we were waiting, right? Last night I was saying, hey, guys, I'm going to be waiting. If I'm looking for a short position, I am going to be waiting until price comes into this purple box where I will be looking for a rejection. Why are we looking for a rejection there? Simply put, it is the golden pocket, 786 retracement of this entire move to the downside, right? And this is a perfect example of why you want to be conservative with your shorts, right? Because you could still look for the shorts, right? This was actually a setup that we had in the premium Discord, and we could make a little bit of money here, but look what happened. We came right back up for the retracement, and we could, again, get that surprise pump to the upside if we start getting some crazy short squeezes up to that 39, that 40K level that we just looked at, those higher targets, but all in all, you can make good money. This is a significant move, guys. Like, you can make decent money on a little 5.6% dump to the downside. Plenty of money to be made on these little moves. But Again, like as soon as you're in profit, I'm locking in profits, moving my stop loss to my entry, making it a guaranteed winning trade because chances are you're going to get stopped out in a bullish market like we're in right now. So we are up in this rejection zone. We are looking for local confirmations to potentially look for short positions in the premium Discord. But if you guys want to learn more about that, you can check out the links in the description. But again, I am just being really conservative on the shorts, guys. Even if I took a scalp here, like if I get stopped out, it's going to be at such a small loss that I really don't care. Other than that, we have gotten that move up. I was sitting on my hands waiting to push up into this purple box. We did get that retracement. You want to wait for your levels to get hit, right? That's why I wasn't really looking to go short over here. Sure, you could have scalped that, but I know there's a better chance if we're going to get a big correction. There is a much better chance that you're going to get it at that 786 golden pocket retracement because we know this is where price likes to put in those lower highs. So it's kind of up in the air right now, to be completely honest with you guys. Again, I am just letting the dust settle for the most part, unless I get clear confirmations to get into these short trades. I'm going to let price kind of work itself out. Now, with all that being said, guys, that is what I am looking at on Bitcoin. And again, you know, you do, 10-hour green dot, you're 4 hours looking to print a red dot. And you could put another bearish divergence on the 4 hour. Money flow still coming out. So it's just not clear enough market for me to actually enter right this second. Maybe later tonight, maybe tomorrow. But with all that being said, really the major thing here are those higher targets we were talking about in this purple box between about 37,623 and 39,112, all the way up to that $40,000 psychological level. So if we do get a random pump, those are the levels I'm looking at for strong reactions. And with that all being said, let's go ahead and move on. Go ahead and spam those altcoins in the chat right now, guys, if you want me to take a look at them. I'm just kidding. I can't see chat, guys. But shout out to Creighton C. He just said smash that like button. So don't forget to smash that like button. And more importantly, guys, subscribe to the dang channel. I think it's like the number's like 2.5% of our viewers are subscribed. I'm kidding. It's a fake percentage. But smash that subscribe button and the like button, guys. And Creighton C said it, not me. So you got to listen to him. But let's go ahead. I want to go ahead and talk about Solana real quick, guys. Can we see Solana hit $75? And if we get there, what is likely to happen next? Are we going to be able to yeet up to $100? Because we have some key levels up there that could call for $100 in the near future. Not tomorrow, but in the near future. But let's go ahead and jump on into it. So taking a look at Solana here, guys, we'll look at the Coinbase chart. As you know, we have basically called Solana, or I don't even want to say I did, the volume profiles called Solana almost to the dollar on its entire ride to the upside, right? So we're taking a look here. We came up, right? We were looking at this old value area. We hit our head. We flipped it to support, went right to the POC. We flipped the POC and went right to the value area high. And we have also now left this value area and broken out. We have hit our other targets, which is right here at about $50. We talked about this on the live stream the other day. Can Solana hit $50? And we thought it was likely, and here we are. We broke, you guys can see these levels are respected. It looks like we shot right through it, but you can see how accurate these levels are. We tapped this level, came right back down, interacted with it slightly, and then got the bigger breakout. And our next target here, guys, our next target for Solana, not only did I feel crazy calling for a $50 Solana, I felt crazy about that. People were calling me crazy for that, but here we are. I'm just bringing you the information on the charts, guys. I wasn't calling for a $50 Solana because I felt like it was going there. I called for it because the charts were saying it might go there. So I felt crazy. People thought I was crazy, but here we are, guys, and we are now yeeting above $50. We are now sitting at $54.14, and that next key level on Solana is going to be right here between about $65.82 and $75, where we will be testing some of these low wicks from down here of the where we have an old area of consolidation. You have these wicks down here at about $75. These are likely going to give you some pretty big resistance if you come up and tap them. But here's the thing, guys. There are some reasons why we may be able to fly through here and come up and visit not only $75, guys, but potentially even $80 to $100. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not calling for this to happen tomorrow or next week or next month even, but I want to talk to you guys about some interesting stuff popping up on the charts here that could mean that Solana may be able to get a bigger move to the upside. Well, number one, coming on to the 2-day, we do now have a fresh 2-day green dot printing. money flow is kind of coming out here, which is a little concerning, but that green two-day green dot could give us a little bit more upside in the long term. I'm not even going to look at the local levels on Solana really here, guys. I just want to talk about the macro. But fresh green dot on your 2-day, fresh green dot on your 3-day, alongside your fresh money flow crossover, again, indicating that long-term trend will continue to the upside, even if we wind up getting a bigger correction, right? So even if we dump down to this value area high at $40, we could still wind up seeing that money flow drag us up over the long term to potentially come up to $65, right? So just because Frankie Candle said that $65 and $75 is on the table doesn't mean that we're likely to go there right this second. You always got that one person that's like, oh, you said we were going to $75 and then it dumped. I want to be clear. We could easily get a pullback from here, maybe even pulling all the way back to about $40 before getting that bigger move up. You have to understand the context of the time frames, right? But if we do, whether we shoot up to there now or get the correction first, it does look like that next significant level is going to be between $65 and $75. And that is really just on your journey to revisit this old area of consolidation from back here in March of 2022, March and April of 2022, where we have this nice little range between about $80 and about $107, with your POC sitting at about $91. And just like we predicted, that Solana was likely going to come up into this area of balance, flip that value area low to support, and fill the entire range to the high. We will simply be looking for the same thing at this next range. If we can get up there and start tapping on this value area low, that is where you could potentially see price flip this to support, go to the POC, and potentially even $107 at the value area high. And again, I'm not calling for this today, tomorrow, or even next month, but I'm just saying. And here's kind of the this is a big reason why I'm potentially looking for this to happen in the near future. If you pull up your VRVP, or your VPVR as I like to call it, you guys can see here when we zoom out and let that volume let that volume load, you guys can see almost all your volume all the way back from here, analyzing the volume all the way back from June in 2021, right? We have a lot of volume up here, or down here, I should say. Right? And what do we have here? A pretty big volume gap. And where is your next high volume node? It isn't all the way up until this area of consolidation, again, between that $80 to $107 level. But oftentimes, guys, what happens? We got a very quick move through this gap one time. We got another very quick move through that gap a second time. And now we are knocking on the door to break into this low volume gap and potentially get another quick move to the upside and targeting that next key level, which again is going to be this extended value area between $80 and $107. So this is pretty exciting, guys. Can we see Solana get there? Nobody knows. Again, I'm not calling for this tomorrow or anytime soon, but I'm just saying if we keep pushing through this low volume gap, there really is nothing holding us back, or not much holding us back besides that $65 and $75 level, holding us back from that value area low, getting close to about $80. So, guys, and again, like even that 3-day green dot, like all these fresh green dots, again, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little pullback first. But, a lot of this stuff, the money flow on the higher time frames, the green dots, this is all pointing to more upside. Even if we get a big correction, likely the trend will continue to the upside. So any corrections to the downside, even on Solana, we're looking for those higher lows to continue the macro trend to the upside. So no guarantees, but that is what we're looking at on Solana. And I felt crazy when we were down here calling for even $40. I felt pretty crazy, but here we are, right? The crazy things happen in crypto, and that volume gap is pretty savage. Let's go ahead and move on, guys, to our next altcoin, which is obviously going to be XRP. And then I also want to check in on DOT, guys, because actually on DOT, really what I want to talk about is where is DOT sitting right now? We'll do DOT first. Where is DOT sitting, guys? We were looking at DOT all the way down here saying, hey, we are deviating from the volume profile, right? We're putting in this bullish divergence here, not only on the 12-hour, but I believe we had this on other time frames as well. You had it on the 16-hour. You also had it on the daily time frame. And when you deviate below the value area low, this is an undervalued asset, and you are looking at this as cheap DOT, and you are looking to ride this back into the fair value, which is in between your value area high and your value area low, or simply put, your volume profile. So what happened? We got above the value area low, shot right to the POC, got our correction, flipped the POC to support, and we were looking for a potential $5.41 dot, and here we are approaching that value area high right now. So probably going to see some resistance up here for dot, guys, to be honest with you, but look at the daily. Remember, we were actually looking at this daily money flow crossover saying, hey, dot is lagging behind not only Bitcoin, but a lot of the other altcoins not crossed over into the green yet, and this may be a good time to pick up some dot and catch that money flow crossover into the green on the daily early for a big move to the upside. And finally, we got that money flow crossover, and we are up here at the value area high. Shout out to the volume profiles. So I'm not going to do too much local TA on this because I do have to get running in a second here, guys, but if we push up to this value area high, I would expect a little bit of resistance, but zooming out here, guys, zooming out here and analyzing the more macro volume, you guys can see once we get above this, you do have a pretty decent volume gap all the way up to about $6.43. And then once you get above that high volume node up here, you guys can see pretty big volume fall off all the way into a massive gap, all the way back up to the $16 level. I'm not saying that we're guaranteed to get there, but just like Bitcoin, if you pull your macro volume profile from the top of the bull market, you can see up there at about $14 is a very key level, and that is your value area low. So you can't make this stuff up, guys, right? Like if we wind up getting above this high volume node, pretty big volume fall off all the way up to about $9. That's probably going to be a big level to watch as well. And then once you get above that, pretty big volume gap up to your previous value area low. And then once you start flipping that, you may be able to work yourself back into this older range. So shout out to anybody who saw us talking about that on the live stream. And shout out to anybody holding dot. Nice little pop off the lows. And we actually brought up dot a lot recently, talking about people thinking that they were late or that they're missing, that they're going to miss all these pumps. Oh my God, I missed the bottom of the bear market. And we have to zoom out on the daily or the weekly time frame and tell these people, hey, look at this. Like, you're still down at the lows, right? You're still down here. You're not necessarily buying the top here. You're still buying the bottom of the bear market. If dot is indeed, if you're a believer that dot is going to break its all-time high and come up to higher prices, right, above its previous all-time at $55, you're essentially buying the bottom of the bear market down here, right? So there you go, guys. That's what I'm looking at on dot. And last but not least, let's go ahead and pull up our best friend here, XRP. Now, we'll pull up the, let's pull it up right here. Take a look at XRP, guys. Obviously, we were looking for, we talked about this last night, looking for the breakout of this value area, flying through this low volume gap. And really the key here was to break above our doorway to higher prices, which is that value area low at 63 cents. And we got above it. And what happened? You crossed the doorway to higher prices. These are the levels you get on the Frankie Candles live stream, guys. That free sauce. Shout out to Dave Digital. But you get above this value area low, and you are likely to get that quick move, through that doorway to higher prices. You get the big move up. We front ran this golden pocket. But as you guys know, for this pullback, we were looking for a potential pullback into these key levels. The most key level being this value area low at about 63 cents. And what happened? We came down, we tapped this level almost perfectly, and now we are starting to play around on this golden pocket. So what I'm looking at here for XRP, guys, again, coming onto your daily fresh money flow crossover, your 2-day looking to cross over. You crossed into the green. You're back in the red. You do have a fresh 2-day red dot, so I wouldn't be surprised if we wind up kind of bing-bonging around here. And more specifically, I am being careful of a potential push back down to the 786 retracement, right? We've tapped the golden pocket. We're playing around with it right now. We actually tapped the value area low, but we have not tested the 786. So I am being cautious of a push down to the 786. But if we do start to play around with this value area low, guys, this could be an area where we could catch some nice support, dig our feet into the ground, find our support, and get that move back to the upside, targeting the time point of control up here at about 75 cents. And you guys know, as long as we hold above that value area low, we could potentially, obviously TPOC sitting at 75 cents. But if we get above that, our next target would be the macro point of control of our old range from the bull market of 2021 up here. This is where that range came from. And if we wind up breaking that time point of control, we could wind up shooting all the way back up to our previous point of control, 786 retracement. Perfect confluence there. I have to mention that, right? Beautiful confluence. But that is coming in at 83 cents. And that could be potentially the next target if we are able to get that push to the upside and get above that time point of control. Now, it could even get more exciting, guys, if we wind up getting above that POC, because that will open the door to potentially get a move up to those even higher prices, getting closer to about $1.28. I'm not guaranteeing that XRP goes to $1.29 or $1.28, but what I am saying is if we see this thing go on a monumental run, like a lot of these other altcoins are doing, if we flip this POC, this is your key level, 83 cents. You flip that to support, start getting bullish confirmations. There is a high likelihood that we could begin that journey all the way up to that $1.29 level. So that's what we're looking on XRP, guys. Super, super quick, super simple plans. But yeah, things are looking pretty decent. Again, being careful of those short-term pullbacks. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever. And a lot of these coins have been going up in a straight line, so they're not going to do it forever. But these money flow crossovers on the higher time frames, guys, have me feeling pretty bullish in the medium term. Things can change. We could see this all change, but as soon as we see those warning signs on the charts, I will be the first person to let you know. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for tonight's Fake Out live stream. Again, I apologize I wasn't able to be here live with you guys tonight, but I was not going to leave you guys empty-handed with no candles lighting the way in the crypto markets. I got your back. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Smash that like button if you guys found this update useful, and shout out to anybody holding XRP, DOT, or Solana. Not only are they all performing well, but they will. They do look like they are primed for bigger moves to the upside. And guys, before I let you go, Mrs. Candles just entered the studio. Mrs. Candles, why don't you do the sign off here? Drop that hand in here. Guys, with all that being said, that's all the time I got for tonight's Fake Out live stream. I'll see you guys on Monday, same place, same time, actually live at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got, Mafia. Hasta pasta. Shout out to all those good-smelling hands out there. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go.
Couldn't leave you guys without a fake out, guys. We do the Frankie fake outs even on, I mean, you have to do a Frankie fake out on a fake out live stream, right? But real quick, guys, for this live stream, for this fake out, I just want to let you guys know that I'm getting absolutely reamed out right now by Mrs. Candles, who is still here. Still smells good, but she's telling me that I can't get 2 cups of coffee in one day. She said I can't go to Starbucks twice in a day. And I disagree. Whether it's Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks or Pete's Coffee, wherever you go, do you ever go twice in a day, or am I a complete lunatic? I don't know. Mrs. Candle says I'm a lunatic. But I'll see you guys on Monday, same place, same time. You know the rest. Have a good weekend. Go touch some grass. And that's all I got. Frank Candle's out. Bing bong.